Hey Lunartics, this reading is for anyone who identifies with the sign of Taurus, anyone who identifies as a Taurian, or anyone who is drawn to Taurus energy during December 2018. It might be your sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars, or any other placement, or you may be interested in a particular specific Taurus at this time, or just the Taurus energy in general. Maybe looking to call it in. It seems we are behaving true to form, whether we realize it or not. Working at a slow and steady pace, progressing at a slow and steady pace. It looks like the reason why is because we are in need of some material security. We're feeling this Ten of Pentacles in reverse energy here. A lack of security. And I think that's why we're fearing the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. We're fearing that our success is not going to be as satisfying as we hoped. Something that we are nearing success and completion on. Okay, so here's what we're hoping for, Taurus. The Eight of Swords in reverse. So we're hoping to free ourselves from limiting beliefs, probably that we've imposed on ourselves at this time. Break out of self-imposed cells, maybe cycles. We want to see the truth, and we know on some level that we are the ones keeping us from it. Maybe some of us are wanting to know why this lack is covering us this month. Maybe some of us are wondering why we can't manifest the material security that we need. This type of energy can make you not socialize, feel just unstable in general, but specifically financially, yes. Unstable resources, physical resources of some sort, likely. Or you know, maybe you've lost a job, you didn't get a promotion, didn't get a raise you were expecting, didn't get a bonus you were expecting this month. Something of that nature fits the bill here as well. And you're left without. Or you're feeling poor in another sense, but it is likely connected again to something material, something physical. Possibly could just be manifesting into something physical. Okay, so And yet where we're headed is the strength reversed, a place where we are unable to restrain ourselves in some way, perhaps unable to tame ourselves in some way. The strength card reversed is also fearing the unknown in yourself. It can also be a Leo that we're missing in the near future, specifically for some Taurians. And failing to care for ourselves properly in some area of our lives. Showing unconditional love for oneself, or showing unconditional love in general, means showing unconditional love for the mind, body, and spirit. And so there are ways in which in the near future we're failing to care properly for, I believe, ourselves in some specific way, if it's not a Leo that we're missing. I think, because I think we're overspending this month, I think that we're already afraid that the project or work that we're doing currently is not going to manifest quickly enough, or maybe enough at all ultimately, with this Seven of Pentacles in the reverse and the Ten of Pentacles covering us. Simultaneously, there's a dual message that we'll get into as well regarding the Leo. But in this first train of thought, we're already, as I just said, worried about probably finances, resources of some type, and yet maybe in the holiday spirit specifically, but for whatever reason this month we still overspend, even though money and success are manifesting slowly. By the end of the month, I think we've actually lent, spent, given too much. And by January, we are not feeling ourselves at all. May even some of us be feeling selfish because we're lacking so much. Just feeling this insecure energy here. The Four of Pentacles in reverse is vulnerable and not being able to save or protect our finances or some resource, maybe just our energy, our time, some earthly resource of ours. The King of Pentacles reversed is, as I said, possibly self-centered because he feels he's lacking so much. Maybe he's turned to gambling. He certainly needs to get into nature to sort of get back in touch with what's important. And that's the path that we're on now. And it's just simply because we are working hard and we are seeing success, but we're simply not seeing it quick enough, not fast enough for our liking this month anyway, and not enough maybe. Now, as I said, there's this dual message. See, and then we go right into the Two of Pentacles reversed after that, progressing through January, I would think. Roundabout, that's like a timeline for most, but it of course will vary. And then, we're having to apply hard work to the situation, right back around full circle to acting in our true nature. And we can alter this path. We can make different decisions, and it's not everybody's path. For some, there's a message here that you're feeling insecure because you're missing a Leo. And there's a lesson that you have to learn about that distance, that separation, that missing just now. Finding in yourself what it is you're so attracted to in them. That you're meant to enjoy this, exactly what you're fearing, that your success won't be all that it's meant for because that Leo won't be here to share it with you. exactly what you're fearing. You're meant to experience, to go through. There's something in that as a lesson of yours that you need to learn. Here is that lesson that I was just speaking about. The Sun card could also denote true greatness being realized, someone getting in touch with their inner child, their inner light, feeling truly accomplished and or truly happy. And this is our lesson, and maybe it's because of the holiday season in the States that the first thing that comes to mind for me is that, tis the season for the cliche lesson to be that, the material things and wealth won't really make us happy, because there seems to be such a focus on it. But it is just a span of a month, and that makes sense. People may be looking forward to bonuses that don't come through. Feel a lot of pressure to buy gifts, etc. And that's probably just one example of how this fits. An easy one to access. I keep running into it. And then here we have the advice card in the spread, the Three of Wands, which speaks of confidence and feeling established to me. What else? That having already made the first decision, normally what direction you're wanting to go in, and just sort of waiting for help or instructions or some sort of assistance, in order to get where you've decided you're going already. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe you do need to ask someone for help. I do get that sense, Taurus, that there's another way out of the situation. We don't have to go into debt to get through the month. And I'm sorry, I know some of you are like, you're laughing, but we're serious. I understand, okay? I think there's another way. I think there's a better way. There's got to be a better way. Let's get one card to... Well, I want to clarify these two. I'm going to clarify these three. I'm going to clarify these three, and then we're going to get an advice card from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot as well. We're going to use the SpirtSong Tarot deck by Paulina Cassidy to get a few clarifiers. So, the Strength card in reverse, the Sun card in your hour lesson position, and the Three of Wands as the advice. We're going to clarify all those, and then we're going to get a unifying message from Dreams of Gaia, which will also have, I'm sure, an additional piece of advice. And there's no way that we're going to get it done in 1 minute. The Tower with the Strength card reverse. So, and I suspected as much. Either that Leo you're dealing with also has Scorpio placements, one possibly, or in leaving and being absent from your life has caused upheaval in multiple areas of it, your life, that is. Or as I suspected for most of us, this is where it all goes wrong. This is where it all goes downhill. I can't help but laugh because I'm Taurus, Sun, Mercury, and Venus, and I often do relate to some of these spreads in some way to parts of the message, or one of the messages if there's multiple trains of thought. But yeah, this is where it all goes wrong, when we can't tame this desire, for example, to spend. And maybe, again, as I said earlier, I'm talking about spending time, spending energy in the wrong places, even if I'm not talking about energy that is specifically monetary, but a material, physical resource of some sort. And then the page of feathers, which is the page of swords, comes up in reverse as clarification on the sun. Often difficult communication. The page of swords. Yeah, immature communication, and asking the question, do you see the storm? I'm often reminded, do you see the storm? Yeah, the page, yeah, it's not the knight, it's the page. Do you see the storm? I keep repeating that because the sun is out, and for some the message is really simple and straightforward. It's about the financial disaster that we're inviting in. Maybe I'm laughing about it because some of you are. Maybe we're all going, oh, well, it is what it is. Can't get blood out of a turnip. So, we do, we need to see the truth, and it is us who needs to let ourselves see the truth. I think our intuition, which showed up, the page of, or the High Priestess, was showing on the bottom of the deck earlier when I was meditating and shuffling and connecting deeper with our energy. I saw that High Priestess, and I think, our intuition, this is a lesson sort of in the practical application of our own intuition. Like, our intuition is telling us that we see this storm coming, and this reading is telling you that this financial disaster is on its way, or consequences for expending your physical resources and energy in the wrong places, or too much of it in the wrong places at the wrong time, is gonna come to this catastrophe. We see this unfolding, at least in this reading, if not multiple readings, and we see, our intuition is telling us so, and this is about the practical application of the ability to make choices that alter these paths that we'd rather not play out. And then you have the Queen of Crystals, comfort and prosperity, as a clarification on the Three of Wands. So this is our card, I would say. This is definitely a Taurus card. This is the Queen of Earth, Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles. She's creative and crafty, and creative yet grounded, creative yet practical, right? She is often rich, often noble, often characterized as a teacher, maybe a mother, crafty. In what areas are we established? I mean, as Taurians in general, we're good at this slow, steady accumulation of skills and wealth, resources. I think we're being advised to rely on our natural tendency to work hard and save what needs to be saved, and to be practical about how much money we do and don't have to, let's say, for example, spend on gifts right now, and creative about solutions as to what else we have to offer people. Because again, you know, real wealth isn't green paper, or even, as corny and cliche as this is, or even the you know, things that many of the things that we choose to spend that paper on, right? It's, we can offer, the most we have to offer is an authentic, happy, joyous, truly happy, probably quite childlike, but at least in the sense that it's a very authentic version of ourselves. That is the most we can offer anyone. That is much more important. Bringing that type of energy to them, to the people that we love and care about, and just anyone around us, is much more important than bringing them the gift that we know that they want. And I know that a lot of you are thinking, and that's just an example. This could be, again, spending time, spending energy, spending money for other different reasons. Maybe it's not on other people. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know. It's just a good example, an easy, an accessible example. But that's the most we can offer anyone we care about. And we're headed down this road where we're, like I said, maybe going to even be feeling like selfish, self-centered, or like we might need to gamble to make up for not altering this path when we see the opportunity to. But I do still want that unifying message / additional piece of advice from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. And I think, you know, beyond just relying on our Taurian nature, the advice is also saying, you know, what areas are we established in outside of that, literally, in the real world? What subject matters are we versed in? What jobs can we get? How can we hustle some side cash? How can we be crafty about that? If we can't tame this desire to spend too much, then let us do what we do best and work some overtime. Heaven and Earth in its blocked position, and I will get the Dreams of Gaia Tarot out and read right from the deck for us. Heaven and Earth. Oh, this is the it would be like the 11 of Earth, or maybe the Page of Earth, but this deck is a little bit different. It's got 81 cards. It's gorgeous, and I love these descriptions, and it always proves so helpful. In its blocked position, though. Potential blockage, there it is. So Heaven and Earth in its blocked position has a very simple and direct meaning. If it appears in your reading today, It, like its upright meaning, symbolizes a potential imbalance that needs to be addressed. I feel like that's how all of the 11s are in this deck, actually. When defining the material as the physical world in which we dwell, and the immaterial as the world we cannot see, the 11 of Earth addresses the importance of seeing them as being a part of a singular whole. So, I love this. We're going to go back and read some more of it, actually, even though we're going on at 30 minutes. But separation is an illusion. Spiritual being in a physical body. These are key phrases. Harm the planet and you harm humanity. Experience life and learn from experience. Spirit dwells in nature. It advises us to center and align. I feel like I love that it's talking about banishing the illusion of separation and talking about how the material world and the unseen world are one, that we're separating for no reason, because I keep talking about you focusing too much on material wealth, and I feel like maybe we're two sides of this whole that we're supposed to be picturing really instead in this message. And I do think that the message is for Taurians who are too focused in the direction I was saying, but I think as I'm reading this, I'm reading it too far in the other direction, possibly, with this showing up as the last message here. You are a spiritual being, a soul living in a physical body in order to experience and learn from life. You are here to learn from these experiences in order to grow and evolve. It is important to integrate and ground your belief in a higher power, or the intangible, here on the physical plane. Know that Spirit, the divine, dwells in all things of earth, sky, and water. Honor Spirit here on earth. To be spiritual does not necessarily require that you pray or follow a particular religious path. Spirituality is about connection. It is about taking a moment to watch a sunrise or sunset and to know at your center that you are part of something larger than your own life. It is about believing in more than what your senses experience. It is about believing in the mysterious, inexplicable, and unknowable. It is about nurturing and honoring your personal relationship with the land beneath your feet and the heavens above. Humanity and nature have a symbiotic relationship. We are dependent upon the world in which we live for our very survival. When we harm the planet, we do harm to humanity. It is important to establish a balanced and harmonious relationship with nature by living a life that has less impact, one that places fewer demands on the environment instead of claiming space as your own. Remember that you share it and do what you can to coexist with the flora and fauna that were there before you. Integrate nature into your home environment. And I did say with the King of Pentacles reversed, just the fact that it's repeated makes me think it's significant for you. That if we get into this selfish, self-centered, money-driven mindset or space or heart space energy trap, this gentleman reverse can certainly use getting into nature in order to rebalance himself. Probably needs rebalance before that work that's coming up, if that's the point we let it get to, right? I was over here. It is important to know and understand how to live in accordance with the seasons and cycles, and how each animal and plant serves an important role in maintaining the stability of the ecosystems in which they dwell. To destroy one can lead to the destruction of the whole. See, and that's the thing. You have to think about the energy that you're bringing to the table, and in this instance, that you're bringing to the collective. We need you to we all need to address these things and try to course correct where we can, not just for ourselves, right? And with the seasons and the cycles and living in accordance with them, I see, I guess I just feel that sense of obligation almost, and so I'm just sharing it here in the Taurus video. But also with the seasons and cycles, I see this needing to pay attention to the astrological forecast, the what the weather is like, because I do think that for some Taurians, depending on what your other placements are, what your astrological life looks like right now currently, some of what we're seeing is out of character for you, and it can be explained with with what's happening, astrologically currently, and specifically for you, right? I'm not sure exactly where I was. It is also important to see that magic exists in all and everything. For example, the mundane act of house cleaning can shift and alter the energy within the house and transform the environment in which you dwell. This act has an influence beyond the space around you. It affects your emotional and mental state as well, as a cluttered and disorganized house or workspace can give rise to a cluttered and disorganized mind that is unable to focus. Sure, we know this, Taurus. Mathematical patterns, the Fibonacci sequence, for example, can be found hidden in the natural world within the shapes of shells, flowers, pine cones, and even the human womb. They are also visible in the way tree branches grow in the shape of a hurricane when viewed from above. It can be said that the ordinary is magical and that magic is quite ordinary. To work magic is a simple process of creating and focusing energy with intent. To work magic is a simple process of creating and focusing energy with intent, which means that everything you do with intent, from adding a string of numbers to making a nice dinner for friends, is an act of making magic. And those are two great ways to practice. When defining the material as the physical world in which we dwell and the immaterial as the world we cannot see, again, the 11 of Earth addresses the importance of seeing them as being a part of a singular whole. So, some of the environmental aspects there of this advice and unifying message were more applicable to certain Taurians than I know, concerning the type of work that you're doing or that you're maybe willing to turn to, possibly something of that nature, that we could dig into in a personal reading, a private reading, if that's something that you needed to talk about or to look into deeper. But I can't see the specifics of it beyond that here, and we are past a half an hour. Yes, we are. So I will leave it at that, Taurians. I do hope that it helped. I hope it offered you something you didn't have when you came to the reading. I want to glance quickly at everyone's, the general, as I said, weather forecast, just to see if any of these energies I see showing up are explicable in what I've noted that's happening in our astrology this month. Got that full moon in Cancer at the end of the month. The sun is in Sagittarius now, of course, moving to Capricorn on the 21st. Mercury retrograde and moving back into Scorpio on the 1st, and then Venus on the 2nd moves into Scorpio too, but then Mercury stations direct there on the 6th. So here's, around the time I'd say that, right here at the beginning of the month. For some of us, it's right here at the beginning of the month that we've got this opportunity. It's a good thing that I'm doing this Taurus video right now, and I'm going to go ahead and upload it. because I glanced at this. I think that you know, we have an opportunity as soon as at the beginning of the month, some of us, to exhibit that strength, to tame some of this tendency to spend or whatever it is. Spend whatever it is. The new moon is in Sagittarius on the 7th. Mercury moves into Sagittarius on the 12th. And then Mars is moving into Aries on the 31st. I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. I don't know why. Maybe I have heard something that gives me reason to be. I don't have Aries in my chart. I'm not really an astrologer, but it's just when I read that, when I see that, it just gives me this excited feeling. I know I do associate Mars with Aries anyway, sure, so maybe that's some of it, but as I'm so much Taurus, perhaps that's an exciting moment for a lot of you as well. But with that, Taurus, I will leave it at that. I'm not sure if I told you already, but info on private readings is down below. If you are interested, just scroll down or check out the links on my banner or the about section of my YouTube channel, or just go ahead and email LunarticksTarot@gmail.com, and I'm happy to talk to you about readings. Thank you for checking this one out, and thank you for likes and subscribes, again, if I already said that, and comments and shares and emails and messages. I really appreciate all of it. I do love to hear how it resonated, if it did. And a special thank you to those who have donated and purchased readings. Each and every one of our energy exchanges are truly appreciated here. I'm truly grateful for them. And I'm doing the 2019 yearly readings as private readings currently. I hope to get general 2019 readings out as soon as possible. We will see how that goes. It's a lot of free content to pump out, but I think I can do it. So that's the intention on that anyway. And as far as the private readings, if you would like a personal 2019 yearly overview, I was telling people that I could only do them as a 60-minute or an hour-long reading to look at all 12 months, but I've recently realized that I could just do a shorter version that just looked at the 4 seasons instead. So we could do a 30-minute reading and still do a yearly overview that's abbreviated like that. So if you're interested, let me know, and otherwise, I hope you make very wise choices moving forward, Taurus, throughout December and moving into the new year. Enjoy Sag season and Capricorn season. I love you, and I will post us another tarot fix just as soon as I can.